Hello again everyone, Marcus here, I Review Stuff. Today, you're going to see me review a song that I heard on a recent Twitch stream I did over at twitch.tv/ewalk to remember. Hey, if you've never joined the streams before, they're a whole lot of fun, and it's a great way to get your request reviewed in a very timely manner. So go check it out. Again, that's twitch.tv/ewalk to remember, and I hope you enjoy the video. Alright, next song. Again, a band I've heard before, Periphery, Luck as a Constant. You know, Periphery, I'm kind of still on the fence with them. I'm like, I generally enjoy what I've heard from them, but nothing has really wowed me to the point where I'm like, oh man, this is a must hit on the playlist, you know? So we're going to give this one a shot and just hope that, you know, we enjoy it. So let's do it. Periphery, Luck as a Constant. It's got an interesting name at the very least. Let's check it out. Wow, what a change up. Right.
If you love the guilt, then let it die. A life can't
I feel like this song was about this close to being pretty good, actually. But man, did they ever lose me pretty quickly. And once they lost me, it was honestly hard to get me back. Like, let's listen a little bit. This first part, I actually really enjoyed. I was like, this is pretty good, right? And like, I liked how heavy it started out from this point, right? And it got like, it was a nice heavy. It wasn't overdone. Like, I really dug that part. I was like, you know, I like the guitar coming in. I like that part where it was like, it was heavy, but it was still very palatable. But then we get to like, I don't know, where was it? About here, maybe? And it just sounds like they're just wailing on their instruments without any rhyme or rhythm. I mean, obviously there's a little bit of rhythm in there, but it's like they're not letting you kind of enjoy the rhythm of it before like the drum or the guitar kind of screeches you to a halt, right? And so it was kind of like, all right, that's well, you lost me essentially, right? Like I was with you up until this point, and then you lost me. And so, you know, once they lost me, oh man, it was hard to come back. And I gotta say, I did enjoy other parts of it. Like if we skip ahead again, like even this part, even that part wasn't the worst, but it was still kind of, to me, a little overdone with the screaming and everything. Like I honestly would have appreciated just clean vocals throughout, to be honest. And I like heavy music. I like some screaming, you know, I listen to some metal, but to me this was just, it was a little bit too much. It was a little overdone. But like this part, the instrumentation's interesting, it's heavy, it's nice, and then they kind of threw you a curveball, right? Or they just totally slowed it down. If you love the guilt, then let it. And honestly, from that point on, I kind of enjoyed it. When he wasn't, my least favorite part of the song was when he was screaming, and they were like doing whatever else they were doing around his screaming. The rest of it was fine, honestly. And so, like I said, it was like this close to just being a really good song, at least in my eyes. I'm sure there are people out there who really enjoy it the way it is. That's probably why, you know, somebody requested it. But for me, I was like, man, you were this close to having me on board, and now it's gone. And I feel like Periphery has been one of those bands, right? And I mentioned right before the review, you know, right before I started this song, that I've heard a few songs from them at this point from people requesting them. And I feel like that's the story with them so far on my channel, is that I'm like this close to liking them, and I just can't, they just don't give me enough to like, unfortunately. So yeah, anyway, let's break it down piece by piece like we always do, starting with the lyrics. So, staring up at the ceiling while I'm falling into the flames, something's gnawing my shoulder and scarring this moment into my memory frame. The fathers speak, we might as well be castrated. Oh, it feels so good from where I stand. The one abstaining from all human needs and pleasantries is the one I never will be. So essentially saying like, hey, I'm human, I have human needs, desires, etc. Collecting through the shapes a sense of power, filling me, and I will never let go. I'm never letting go, bending will of man in the hearts of the gods. Shut the fuck up and let us live a life we can call our own. Leave me alone. So I think it's sort of rejecting this idea of having to be perfect or holy or what have you, and just like, hey, we're human, let us live our human life, you know? If you love the guilt, then let it die. A life kept so clean will measure the price of misery. If you love the guilt, then let it die. In silence we will remain. And maybe it's, you know, maybe it's religious, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just about people who like to judge others. But essentially saying like, hey, if you love to guilt trip yourself, if you like to guilt others, let that shit die, because at the end of the day, like, we're going to live our life, right? You're going to be miserable never getting to do anything because you're always feeling guilty or always living by this like inhuman set of rules, right? So it's kind of what I'm reading into it here. If you love the guilt, then let it die. A life kept so clean will measure the price of misery, but manifest the taste of paradise. And surely you'll see the sinner's side of me. So that's kind of, yeah, that's kind of how I'm reading it. I think that kind of holds up. So honestly, lyrically, it's not badly written. The shut the fuck up part was kind of, I think because he screamed it, it was also kind of like, it's a little cheesy, but overall it wasn't too bad. I'll give it a thumb up lyrically. As far as the instrumentation and vocals go, like I said, it was this close to being good. I liked his clean singing. I didn't like his screaming singing, honestly. And again, I'm a fan of screaming. I'm a fan of metal. But to me, it was just it was a little overdone. So if you would have kept it clean throughout, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more. Um, and then as far as the instrumentation goes, like again, there were parts of it I liked. There were parts of it where I was like, the guitar really works for me. It's nice and heavy and fast paced. The bass works for me. The drums work for me. But only parts. Again, they lost me pretty early, and by then I was like, all right. Like if you take the screaming and the heavy parts out, it's a much better song. I don't know if there's a version like that out there, but if there is, let me know. And so for me, unfortunately, I don't do this very often on the channel. Unfortunately, instrumentally and vocally, I'm going to give this one a thumbs down. I really was this close to enjoying it, and it's a shame. And maybe a thumbs down is too harsh. Maybe a sideways, like neutral thumb might be a little bit more more applicable here. But honestly, like they were this close. Thumb down. It was a rough listen. And so lastly, for replay value, does it make the playlist? No way. Again, if there's a version out there that takes out those parts I didn't like, again, it's not the same song if you do that. But if there's a version out there that does that, maybe that makes the playlist. But as it is, as it exists, no, not going to make the playlist. I give it a thumbs down. Periphery, you're on your last leg with me. I will say, like, I'm not a huge fan. I think from now on, if I see a Periphery request, I might have to think twice about it. I do pride myself on taking all requests, but there's got to be a limit, right? Where you just have to say, like, I don't like this band, right? And I think I'm kind of getting there with Periphery, unfortunately. So anyway, hopefully that doesn't lose me a few subscribers, but hey, I got to be honest. If I like something, I like something. If I don't, I don't, you know? So anyway, let's keep it moving. Oh, man, that was rough. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. As always, if you enjoyed the music, go support the artists. Go listen to their music wherever you can. And if you'd like to support the channel, consider subscribing, liking the video, commenting with your requests, or even checking the description to follow me on Twitch, Twitter, or TikTok. All right, y'all. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.